what are the biggest challenges facing Canadians today?
Biggest challenges, I think a lot of businesses are hurting for it because everywhere you look there's hiring signs and there's nobody to work because the government is handing out all this money and nobody wants to work when they can sit home and just take in all this money. So the businesses are really hurting for it because they're looking for workers.
I think they need to get used to a new lifestyle after COVID, and they need to kind of live with some permanent restriction, but not this this tight restriction, maybe some ease restriction. They need to live with those type of restriction. And this is a new lifestyle after COVID. I think we need to, everyone needs to do its part.
I think people having a lot of trouble with like the economic part of COVID and the pandemic, especially finding work and struggling with staffing if you're a business owner and then providing the wages that people want these days. So I think employment and economics is probably the biggest challenge a lot of people are facing right now.
I think a lot of times it's isolation, keeping yourself sane. There's a very, very hard feeling you get when someone is so close to you but you can't visit them. Like for example, for me now, I have family that are out in the Twillingate area in the zone with all the new cases and in Newfoundland, and it definitely is hard that somebody is so close but that you can't see them. I think that is a really, really hard, difficult thing to have to face.
That's tough. There's a lot of challenges. I think a lot of financial challenges are probably one of the biggest ones right now. Just getting the right type of help for the right type of people. I know there's a lot of programs right now in place, but they're not the solution that is needed. There has to be different programs to help different families because we're so diverse.
In my opinion, the biggest challenges that I'm facing as an employer is finding qualified employees. The other biggest challenge, I think, is the fact that the CRB and the Canada Recovery Benefit has basically more or less replaced a lot of wages for a lot of lower earning people, waitresses and stuff like that, and now they just don't want to get a job because they can make more money sitting at home.
The drug problem, that's a big problem for kids. Something should be done about it. Too many lives are lost for stupid reasons, like we don't put enough emphasis on the problem, and we seem to have a blind eye on it. So yeah,
we've had enough, unfortunately. When I think about it, my parents grew up during the Depression and World War II, and they didn't know when those things were going to end. But they had to put up with those conditions anyway. This is not going to last as long as the Depression or World War II, so we need more patience.
Well, clearly the pandemic is still a challenge. Healthcare spending seems to be, tied to that. I think that's something that surfaced as a result of the pandemic, and that we have a lot of work to do in that area. And climate change, definitely, if not number one, it's heading up to the top of the charts with a bullet, right? That is a serious challenge that Canadians are facing.
I think healthcare is the biggest challenge, and then economy too. Both are a big challenge. Education is going on. It's okay, but healthcare and economy is the most important.
The economy for sure rebounding after all this. It's going to take a while.
And the continuing disparity of income between the haves and have-nots, And our healthcare system is really falling apart, but it is doing the best, and it is much better than many other advanced countries, But still, it needs a lot of fixing, housing, poverty, all these things,
There's a lot, I would say. Racism, that is a huge one. I would say safe back-to-work practices for women who have children or finding childcare.
I think the biggest challenges is is basically getting all the businesses back on even keel, trying to keep the debt load of every individual down.
Many people without job, or many people afraid to for the unknown future. So I think this is the biggest challenges.
Our generation's okay, but the future generations, I don't know how it's sustainable. It can't be. Like, you wouldn't run your household the same way the government runs its household. So I think we need to turn that trend around.
COVID for sure. I would think that's on everybody's first and foremost. And how it changes, not even daily, but hourly. Individuals that have children and have to, balance work life, home life, daycare life, then COVID.
The fact that people just don't want to get vaccinated. And that's a big barrier in moving forward, is people not wanting to get vaccinated.
Well, obviously the pandemic's number one, and the second I think is, I guess, how are we going to pay for all of this when it's all over? Assuming it's ever going to be over.